Bonjour, Kinamagi Nene Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to today's math review lesson. Today's lesson, rounding decimal numbers. We'll begin here at Math is Fun using rounding numbers. And what is rounding? Rounding means making a number simpler but keeping its value close to what it was. The result is less accurate but easier to use. And we've done this with whole numbers. For example, we were able to round 73 to the nearest 10 by looking at the 3 and deciding whether this was going to stay at 7 tens or 8 tens. And anytime that the number was less than 5, this spot would stay the same. So with 73, it was closer to 70 and 7 tenths, so it stayed 70. At 76, it went up to 80. Let's see if you had a chance to see that here. So if we're going to tens like we just did above, 714 and 715, 4 is less than 5, so the 1 stays the same. And we just turn that to a 0. But 5 is 5 or more, so that 1 goes up to a 2, and the 5 became a 0, so it went to 720. But let's look at hundredths. And the hundredths is the second place. 4 is less than 5, so the 2 stayed the same. But now over here, 5 is 5 or more, so that 2 in the hundreds place goes up to a 3, and then we turn everything else into zeros or truncate it. So it became 1.73. How to round numbers. Decide which is the last digit to keep. That is the spot we are rounding to. Leave it the same if the next digit, when you look next door, is less than 5. This is called rounding down, even though it's really keeping it the same. But increase it by 1 if the next digit is 5 or more. That's called rounding up. Example 74 to the nearest 10. I look at the 7. I look next door. 4 is not 5 or more. So I keep it as a 4. So it became 70. 86, I look in the 8 tens because we're in the 10, rounding to the nearest 10. I look next door. It's 6 is 5 or more. So that 8 goes up by 1 to 9 and becomes 90. Why does 5 go up? 5 is in the middle. So we could go up or down, but we need a method that everyone agrees to. So think about sport. Should we have the same number of players on each team, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on team down. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are on team up. With rounding decimals, first work out which number will be left when we finish. Rounding to tenths means we leave one number after the decimal point. And on the assignment today, that's largely what we are going to do. Rounding to hundredths means to leave 2 numbers after the decimal point. So we have some examples. 3.1416 rounded to the hundredths. Here's the hundredths, the 4. I look next door, it's a 1, so that just stays at 3.14. Into the thousandths, and that's the third number, is the 1 here. So 3.141. I look at next door, it's a 6. That means this goes up, so it becomes 3.142. And to the tenths place, tenths is the first number after the decimal point. That's a 2 in this example. I look next door, it's a 7. 7 is 5 or more, so that goes up by 1, so it becomes 1.3. We're not going to worry so much about rounding whole numbers. And significant digits is going to be something that you will worry about a few years down the road. Let's look at a few examples here. 2.43. What is for rounding to the tenths? Tenths is the first number, and I look to the number to the right. Does that 3 make this go up to 5, or does it stay at 4? You're right. It's going to keep at 4. So I keep my 1s over here, and that 4 stays the same, 2.4. But let's make that a little neater. $2.45. I look, here's the 4. I look next door. 5 is 5 or more. So I add 1 more. So it's going to become 2.5. In the practice today, you're going to have a series of numbers written between tenths and thousandths, and you're going to round them all to the nearest tenth. If you have the paper copy, that'll be available for you as well. But in all examples today, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. If you have any questions or you need further assistance, please reach out to me. Be happy to find you some more resources or talk to you one-on-one about this content. I'm sure you will do great, but if nothing else, have a mental Gijigad, Minwa Bama P, and we'll see you in class.